Hello students, this is just a little bit of help and hints that can help you complete the projectile motion lab. The first thing I want to talk about are the different components in the simulation. So you have the ability to change the object. You can have user choice and a bunch of different objects here that you'd like to launch. You have the ability to change the degree or angle of the cannon, the initial speed, which is calculated in meters per second, and then also the mass or the size of the object. So if you select something like the pumpkin that you see selected here, it's going to give you the mass of 5 kilograms and then a diameter of 0.37 meters. For this case and for our class, air resistance should not be checked. So you can manipulate this according to what the lab is having you do. And it should calculate the range, which is going to be the displacement. So that's another name for displacement. Height, and then also time after you click the fire button. So this is what we're going to what you will be using for this virtual lab. Also, this tool down here is a tape measure, so you can measure things that the lab is asking you to measure. Alright, the first thing that I just kind of want to talk about is that one of the main questions that you need to understand is that, does the mass of an object matter? So one of the questions has you change the mass of the object and then launch it. So make sure you complete this, and if your numbers are looking the same, then you are on the right track. The next thing that some students don't really understand completely is that after you launch an object, why is it giving you a height of a negative amount? Please keep in mind that the cannon is actually 1.2 meters high. So the initial height when it's being launched is already 1.2 meters high. And so when you land it, it's going to be a negative at ground because you started at the zero height, which is inside the cannon, which is 1.2 meters high. Alright, this is the big page that most of you have been emailing me about. I don't understand which equation to use, so I'm not going to go through these because that's part of you trying to figure out your calculations in this lab, but I will give you some hints here. So for non-horizontally launched projectiles, for horizontal, you can use this formula to calculate that component. For verticals, you can use one of these three depending on what is given in the simulation. Please note that, remember, y is vertical and x is horizontal. So if you see an x component, it's again horizontal. If you see a y component, it's going to be vertical. Some other things is make sure if you have the degree angle, you can use these two calculations to calculate or determine the x and y velocity components as well. Also, for the expected range, so if you want to check to see what is going to happen, you can use this equation. However, I must give you the hint that it has to be solved as a quadratic equation. So that's it for the little hints and tips for the lab. What I've seen so far has been excellent, and keep those questions coming.